So Shakespear Regional Park started as a farm park and then it became a sanctuary. So this is the predator-proof fence. We have 2 vehicle gates, an in and an out gate, allowing public into probably the heart of the sanctuary. So everything on that side still has pests and everything on this side is pest-free, technically. We get the occasional incursion, but we're managing them pretty well. So here at Shakespeare, we're luckier than Tawharanui because of the way the land is set up. So Tawharanui is a peninsula. That's basically Tawharanui. They have a fence across there and they have all this area here they have to try and keep pests out of that try and come into the park. Where Shakespeare is a circle with a buffer line like that with that fence across there. So we only have this very small area to keep pests out. So our buffer zone's quite isolated. So I think in 2011 we put in the pest-proof fence and it goes from Army Bay to a Kurumai Bay. It's a leaky fence, so it doesn't actually go into the waters and animals can get around it. It's not a full circle, it's a straight line. And now we have an open sanctuary which has been going for about the last 8 years, and we've reintroduced whiteheads were our first birds we were introduced, then North Island robins, little spotted kiwis, saddlebacks, and then next year hopefully we are going to do hihi, which will be a really cool thing for the park. And then wetapunga as well, which will be awesome, and a few other things in the background. But the idea of the fence is that nothing can get through it. It's meant to get rid of all the pests. So it goes down, goes into the ground. So if a rabbit runs up to it, it hits the fence, it tries to dig down, it actually hits the fence, there's fence running under there. It tries to dig down and goes, nah, it's not worth it, and runs back that way. It's tall enough that animals can't jump over it, and it's skinny enough that animals can't get through it. So our fence has to come to an end, so animals can come around the end of the fence. So what we do at the very end of the fence, you can see there's a camera down the far side. And so a lot of our work now is done with cameras, and that lets us know when things are coming in and out of the park. It records everything that comes through that, so we can see anything that's coming in and out of the park. Robin.
Yeah. Hello, Robin.
Robin, rat.
Oh, yes. Oh,
rat. Oh. Kiwi. more exciting, but so that was on the 20th. So the cameras really easily identify what we've got on park. You can put them in a location where you think animals are running and they just take pictures of everything that go past. Then we just use them for pest control. We put them on roads where we think we may have something, looking for kiwis, looking for seabirds, looking at the dotterels, and we always find something out from them. So we've got one camera on the Navy Road, and if we ever have an incursion, we see the animal running up. So we saw a rabbit on it, it's like, that was the first we knew. So it's a really quick and easy way to identify if we're getting incursions. Another one is we had a hell and we found some holes in the hell. We thought it might be rabbits. So we didn't know what it was. We put a camera out, checked the camera a week later, and it's a pukeko digging rabbit holes, digging into midden and pulling out the shells. But without the camera, you wouldn't know. So the cameras are a great help to us. We'd be lost without them. This is our nursery, which is fully run by volunteers. It was all made by volunteers. It's one of the coolest projects on the park. So all the seeds for the park are collected on the park, then grown on the park, and then planted back out on the park. So it's quite a cool little circle. So the park is slowly changing, and this is a really good spot to see it. If you look over at the very far slip, you can see that was 2 years ago planting. If we come back here, this is 3 years ago planting. So this whole gully will eventually be a big piece of bush. So when you're in Te Ahari Bay looking back, this whole bit of bush will just be proper bush, solid, mature bush. So we've done several bird translocations to the park now. Most of our translocations have come from somewhere close. So Tiri Mātangi is very close to us. It's about 3 k's over the water. Most of the translocations are done by volunteers. So there'll be a leader, Kevin, and then he's got a group of volunteers that come in, put up mist nets or potter traps, catch the birds. They either stay on the island for a while or they come straight over to the park and they're released on park. And so the birds that are living over there are in a very similar habitat that here. So this is one of our volunteers doing Kiwi monitoring. So she's out with the transmitter trying to pick up where the Kiwis are to check they're okay. This is Marie, she's one of my main volunteers on the park that lives on the park more than at home. She's in charge of the Kiwi tracking. So there's a team of people that go out on Mondays and Thursdays just to see where the Kiwis are. And Marie's rostered herself on today because she likes going out to keep an eye on everything, and she's also trying to figure out if any of the males are currently sitting on eggs.
So we're going to try and listen for Hugh, number 66. And his fine tune is 2. Right. And can you just hear that beat?
Little spotted Kiwis, the numbers are going well and we're definitely getting breeding. So we just have to know if a bird's in an area for a long time, we put a camera on it. Marie's been doing that. She can roughly know where all the nests is, and she put cameras on them, and we've seen the little baby Kiwis come out on the camera footage. So this has taken 231 shots since it was put here last week. So we take the card out, grab a new card, number 48. So we know we're getting little baby Kiwis born on park. We don't know what's happening to them afterwards because it's a wild population. Once they're hatched, they're just free to wander, so we don't know. So once the predator fence went up, we just saw a natural increase in animals anyway. There's lots of birds that are just increasing in numbers. The first translocation was the whitehead. You hear them all over the park now, and they're in little flocks everywhere, which is really cool. The North Island robins, they're doing all right. So the birds that we've brought in have replaced themselves with juveniles, and that's the hardest part, getting them to recruit back in. So we're hoping that that number will slowly increase. So we have dotterels on the beach. Shakespeare does incredibly well in terms of its dotterel numbers, and we're lucky that they generally breed early so they can come out. We have a group of volunteers run by Jan that looks after them. What Jan's noticed is there's now currently 8 dotterel nests on the beach, and unfortunately dotterels, some of them go about that high above the high tide mark, which is not high, and if you get any waves or winds, which we've got today coming in, it will push the waves higher than the high tide and will actually wipe out the nests. So you can do one of either two things, either move the nest slightly up, but if you're running out of beach, it's easier just to sandbag. Now sandbagging definitely does disturb the birds when they get stressed, but if you don't sandbag, the nest is gone anyway. If you don't disturb the birds and they come back, they've got a chance of surviving. So it's a matter of looking at the tides, looking at the weather patterns, and if they high tides and weather patterns coincide together, then you definitely need to sandbag. It's an open sanctuary because anyone can come to it. There's just a fence. You just drive up to that fence, it'll open up and let you in, and anyone can enjoy it, and it's free to come here. And we're slowly getting it back to that nice mix of farm and bush. And because the bush is getting back there, all the animals are doing really, really well. It's 500 hectares of protected flora and fauna behind the fence.